right, you guys, I'm going to start maybe like linking this channel up with my old Facebook page, Civil Simian. It's from years ago and has actually like a lot of good writing and stuff that I've already done, which can save me time with this channel. It's connected to my old website, civilsimian.com, which was built to be a pure democracy, which is something I'd like to get started again if I could ever find funding for it. And of course, this all links to universal humanism. And there's this meme from Jonathan Stuart Mill: the only freedom which deserves the name is that of pursuing our own good in our own way, so long as we do not attempt to deprive others of theirs or impede their efforts to obtain it. Where he basically saying the same thing as me. And I just wanted to say to you guys, the most important thing with expressing the core of ethics is to clear away the cloud of particularity and understand what's going on in the most basic sense. It's there for all of us to see. So when I talk about a lot of this stuff about what it is to be a good person, good people are already doing it. It's not like a discovery, or I'm not really delivering a secret. It's more like a realization. It's like a clearing away of the lens and the cloud to see that which remains. And you use rationality and argument and observable reality. But correspondence theory of truth. You use that in order to clear away the noise. But not everything gets cleared away. There's still this fundamental universal that remains. And this is what he's referring to. And the way that Jonathan Stuart Mill is referring to it is the way that it should be referred to in its most basic sense. I actually think he adds a little bit of particularity by referring to freedom, the people's freedom. I think we could refer in the same way to justice or fairness rather than freedom, that you will pursue your own interests, and in doing so, you'll be attentive to the reality that you're going to be depriving others in a limited system to get your own, right? You're in a limited system, and what you're doing is depriving others directly or indirectly of what they need. And are you taking more than you need under this context of leaving others with less than they need? Like, are you really like building luxury for yourself while others are starving? And I mean, a lot of it's going to be people pretending that the system is not limited. And certainly there is, like, I forget what the number is, like so many quadrillions of virtual money out there, cryptocurrencies and bank creating debt and stuff like that, we can't really even just talk about the $458 trillion worth of wealth there is circulating in the globe. We have to talk about the quadrillions of digital wealth and simulated debt, but that it's still limited. Like water, fresh water is limited, right? Regardless of how much money there is in the world. Air is limited. Shelter is limited. So these things are things that we're going to conflict over. And if you see my video on universal humanism, I go over this. Anything that there's one of or there's a limited amount to is going to create conflict between people, especially when it's around human necessity. So that's what he's getting at, is when you you should be allowed to pursue your own ends, and you should do so in a way that doesn't stop others from pursuing their own ends. There's also like some logical gameplay in there, like, well, what if, just logically speaking, why do I have to pursue my own ends? Why can't somebody pursue my ends for me? Probably there's a lot of CEOs thinking that way. And just logically speaking, it doesn't make sense. And the example that I use is people sitting around a table. Imagine 10 people sitting at a table, and each person has food in front of them, but they're feeding the person next to them. And that person is feeding the person next to them. And that person, it makes no logical sense. There's no value added to it. While you can feed yourself, you might as well feed yourself. And that's how it starts. That's why we don't start off with, helping the other with their necessity and leaving ourselves to die. It doesn't make any logical sense. So we start off by eating our own food. And then if we see somebody that has no food for whatever reason, and they're going to die because of that, then we limit everybody else's food, because preserving more life is more important than, having exactly what I need to survive, or having more, or having what I want instead of what I need. A lot of times people can't separate the difference between what they want and what they need. They think that what they want is what they need, and what they want is what they deserve. Nobody's working 100 billion times harder than anybody else. And they assume because they're special people, they deserve what they want. Other people are not special. That's their problem. I'm special. I should get what I want. What I want is what I need. They're subsistence thinkers, okay? That is a sin in a closed system for any of the things that are limited, okay? As long as there's people all these people that can't get, 50% of the world lives on less than 10,000 a year. Like a very large portion of people don't even have clean water. They have sewage that goes out to the outside of their house, and that's as far as it goes. Wait till the next rain happens. There's all kinds of terrible shit. While people are buying yachts and stuff, we should have fixed all this stuff long ago. Now there's all kinds of geopolitical stuff going on around the world where people just can't cooperate. But the point is, like what Stuart Mill's saying, the only freedom which deserves the name is that of pursuing our own good in our own way, so long as we do not attempt to deprive others of theirs or impede their efforts to obtain it. So I need to do what I want for myself, as long as I'm not bothering anybody else and causing them to suffer or not be able to survive themselves. We know it's impossible because there's a lot of limited systems, but at least we have to be attentive to it, okay? Universal humanism. We have to be attentive to the fact that we're part of a limited system. There's no way to escape that, and ethics emerges as a hard determinism from this limitation. Maybe at some other time there will be enough for everybody, and then what happens is the ethics it's still there, but it's just not as hard and determined as it is right now, when people are conflicted over things, when there's rich countries and poor countries, and people don't even have the basics of what they need where they are. This makes ethics a hard crystalline truth. So anyway, I just wanted to discuss that and discuss a little bit of the features of this channel, that I'm going to be linking it up with my page on Facebook, civilsimian.com, my Facebook page, Civil Simian, and the website's just sitting there waiting for an investor. So if you guys like this kind of philosophical subject matter, help us out by liking the video and subscribing to the channel.